Hey, this is Andre. You know what? I just realized that hey, and Andre rhyme. I just discovered that. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but hey, and Andre, they anyway, that was an inside joke. I hope you got it. This is Andre Koen. I want to say thank you so much for joining us in this space this time because you could be any place else, but you choose to be with us. So, just want to say thank you as we're heading off to the final of this campaign, the final leg of the campaign, and it has been wonderful to see my neighbors, to meet my neighbors, to talk with my neighbors, to drop off signs, um, to uh, to drop off our stickers. Just really, that's been a really great experience. I will say though that another one of my highlights is this. Recognition that our students seems to be something on my glasses. My students uh, have just absolutely been amazing, and so having I just had an interview with the Mounds View High School paper, and they asked me some really hard hitting questions. They had some thought provoking approaches to what they would like to see in the school district and in the school race, and so I was very pleased to know that our young people are taking their education this serious. And it was uh, it was it was amazing. So to have that conversation, and so one of the questions that they asked about was around school safety and school discipline and those kinds of things. And I appreciate that because I recall both being a student in a public school, teaching in a public school, and what those challenges present, right? So you have people from all over who have whose parents have different ways of seeing the world, who are raised in very different homes, and then they coalesce and it's probably three good places that all of those things kind of coalesce. One is in your K-12 experience. The second is in the workplace, right? And third is where you choose to live, right? And so some of us live in places where we see lots of diversity, and others live in places where diversity is somewhat of a luxury. Um, but these students were really asking these questions, and so I drew upon both my volunteer work at community mediation and restorative services up in Crystal, and some of the work that we've done in the past with Robbinsdale School District. I drew upon as I'm answering this question for these young people. I drew upon some of my experiences working with the Scouts, formerly known as the Boy Scouts, but the Scouts and their juvenile diversion program, and actually I've been attached to that program. But both of those volunteer opportunities for almost 10, 15 years. So there's a lot to be learned by that. I also drew upon my Rule 114 status. As a matter of fact, I need to go get a couple of CEUs, right? My 114 status as a certified neutral in the state of Minnesota. So when it comes to conflict resolution, I have that. I drew upon, before I answered, I drew upon my presidency with the Minnesota um, Mediation Association. So that was wonderful. And then I finally drew upon my classroom experiences, right? And so when they asked me about those questions, there were a few things that came to mind that I think are important for us to recognize, for us to think about, for us to engage. And the first and foremost is that we need restorative processes, right? So we know that punishment. It may not be easy, but it is certainly prudent. It can be time um, saving, right? So someone knows what the rules are, you punish them, and then your hope is that they don't do it again. But oftentimes, particularly when we talk about adolescents, what they learn is I won't get caught doing it that way again, which means I may do it again, but I won't do it like that. Or, you know, you have the punishment didn't fit the crime, or in some cases the punishment did fit the crime, and I'm willing to pay that consequence, right? And so what we need is is a different kind of disciplinary framework. And so I really like the combination of both a restorative practice and a diversionary practice, right? And so when we have those connected, we can use those to as a development tool to avoid introducing students and their family into this prison to this the school to prison pipeline, right? That Michelle Alexander kind of talks about. So those are important things. And so how do we do that? So in restorative practices, we have these circles that we convene in on a regular basis. And so it could be during homeroom, once a week during homeroom, or during a special activity. We circle at least once a week to kind of figure out what challenges, what's going on, how do we, what resources are available to help students kind of solve some of these challenges that they may be having with other students. And it's also a way to do two tasks at once. And so while we're doing this check-in on their social relationships, teachers and staff can get a sense of what's going on in their psycho-emotional domains as well, right? Is there some overarching, depression or some challenges that we can get our mental health professionals to help assist with, right? And so when we think about these restorative practices, it's not just, when there's a challenge, but it actually allows us to have a deeper relationship with our students as we help navigate them through their journey to reach their goals and to reach their family's goals, right? So there is that. And when we talk about this idea of a diversion program, diversion really is that more serious stuff, right? So let's say we weren't able to avoid fisticuffs, right? Or people engaging in violent acts towards one another. Well, when appropriate, we send those off to a diversion program, and the diversion program simply runs kids through young people through a program that says if you complete this program, you won't get the most negative aspect of your behavior that you could have had you not participated in this program, right? And so this is an opportunity not only to develop, but to give young people one more chance to kind of get it right, right? To learn some new skills. And so I think that's important. The last part of this model is recognizing that we do make mistakes, but we have to take account and for the mistakes that we've made, right? So you don't just get a slap on the wrist. You actually have to do some work. And so with that restorative diversion program, they have to repair some of that harm by doing some community work, right? By doing some volunteerism, by engaging, giving back to school communities that they've not necessarily um, uh, helped, right? They may have hindered those things. And so it's important to recognize those two things. And so when you put this restorative justice piece and you pair that with a juvenile diversion on the spectrum, if you will, right, of progressive discipline, are there young peoples and families and mindsets and behaviors that are unacceptable in a school setting? I would say definitely yes. And I would also say that that is true for most of society, that there are lines that uh, that where the social contract has been broken to such a degree that maybe that person can't be a part of our community right now until they're willing to look at what it means to be in community with others. And so, um, yeah, so I'm not a tree hugger to the point that we 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 can't recognize that there are boundaries, because there are boundaries. However, for a kid who's been told that they are no good, or a kid that has been repeatedly in kind of antisocial, responded to with very antisocial behaviors, to continue to use those tools doesn't yield the kind of results that I think are important. And so, bringing in restorative justice practices, bringing in diversionary practices along this discipline continuum, I think is valuable. And that's kind of what I talk with the students about in terms of my approach to common sense education, right? So it really is about having multiple educational pathways. It is about restorative discipline as a practice within our school. It's about creating inclusive environments for all of our students, each of our students, every last one of them can be included in our environments. And lastly, that we have honest education that challenges them to be the best citizen, to be the best person, to be the best participant in a family that they can be, because we've given them critical thinking skills and great decision making skills as part of that honest education. And so those are the things that we're talking about, and those are the things that you'll be voting in November. And so we look forward to your vote on November 7th. And if you cannot vote for me, please like and share this video or any of our other content. We've tried to be very transparent about what it is that we believe. We are the same person on the stage as we are off the stage. So some candidates can't necessarily say that, given some of their affiliations, right? So but just check us out, look at all of our things, and if you can like and share, because the logarithm will get this video to people who can vote for us, who can and you can be a part of this movement just by liking and sharing. So I want to say thank you so much. Have a great day, and we look to see what happens on November 7th. Win, lose, or draw, we will be here. Thanks. Bye. We need some theme music. Anybody got theme music around here? I mean, theme music would be really great, to just have some theme music. Can you guys